Hello parents. I am doing this video because I am a teacher. I'm also the parent of two elementary school kids that will be going back to school during this whole COVID-19 thing in the fall. And if you guys make masks, then we can give out more masks that are washable and we don't have to use the money that's set aside for COVID-19 to buy disposable masks, which we can't keep anyway. They have to be thrown out after every day of use. So it would be better if you have a sewing machine, then you can make a mask, or you can make 20 masks for your class, because a lot of people don't have sewing machines. So if you have a sewing machine, and I'm going to show you how to do everything, hopefully you can make a whole bunch of masks for your school and they can distribute it the way they need to. And if you look at the realism of that, they're sneezing all this stuff that comes out of little kids' noses and mouths into a mask, which they then have to have against their skin. If you did the same thing, you'd be like, oh, I just sneezed in my mask, this is gross, and you wouldn't want it against your skin. So we're going to use a lot more masks than we think we're going to use. I think everybody is underestimating how many times we're going to have to change our masks during the day. So if you have the skills, if you have the sewing machine, it would help out your school a lot if you can make some masks and give it to the school so that they can distribute it however they need to distribute it. If you have an elementary school child, you know that they have grown out of some t-shirt somewhere in your house. That is fabric. I'm going to show you what you can do to make a child-sized mask. I'm gonna put in the comments the dimensions for an adult-sized mask as well, but I'm going to be demonstrating a child-sized mask. Also at the end, I am going to be showing how you can use heat transfer to embellish your mask or give it school spirit or whatever you want to do with it. So here we go. For a kid-sized mask, you want to measure 8 inches by 5 inches. So 8 by 5. Some people do 7 by 4, but I think that's a little too small. I have a 2nd grader and a 4th grader, so it's perfect for them. You can judge yourself how big you want yours after you make your first one. So 8 by 5. I happen to already have cut one out, so this is a little kitty one. I got this fabric. They're called fat squares or fat quarters, and they're in Walmart for like $2 or $1.50 or something like that, and it makes like 6 masks. So if you want to get different kinds of fabric, they had Batman, they had Super Friends, they had cats, they had dogs, so you can get that from Walmart. I'm gonna line this up. This is almost exactly 5 inches, and I'm gonna use this as a template because I don't like to mark up the fabric with at the direct markings that they have to be at. So I use this as a template and then I cut it out according to that size. You don't have to be precious about your sizes. I have a lot of quilting fabric, but I've never used them for quilting because you have to be really precise in measurement, and I'm never really precise in measurement. Accurate measurement if you iron it first. And it's easier to sew too. So I'm going to put this right side to right side because that is how we're going to sew it. You will have to buy elastic. I discovered that my kids like this a lot more for comfort, and if your kids are going to be wearing it all day, do the more comfortable thing and just buy the slightly thicker one like this. For these, you want to measure 7 inches and cut them at the 7-inch mark. You need 2 for each mask. Okay, so I have my 5 by 8 rectangle right here. Remember, this is the child size one. About halfway on one side, I'm going to put the foot down, and then I'm going to sew. When you start sewing, you go forward a little bit, then you go backward a little bit, then forward again to keep the stitch there. So I'm going to go almost all the way to the corner. Remember, this is right side to right side on the inside. So I'm almost at the corner. I'm going to get one of my pre-cut pieces of elastic. I have to put it on the inside so that when I turn the mask right side out, the elastics are coming out and are usable from the outside. Okay, so it's in between the two pieces, and I have a little bit sticking out right here. If you are using the smaller gauge elastic, you have to tie it in a knot, and the knot should be out here. But because these are so fat, I don't have to do that extra step. I'm going to go to the end, go back a little, and then turn it. I am going backwards first, so I lock that elastic in. So then I'm going to go all the way to the next end. I should say right before the next end. I'm going to find the end of the elastic, make sure it is flat inside the mask. You don't want it to be twisted. And I'm going to line it up in between those two places with a little tail sticking out. And I'm going to go past there and back a little. Then I'm going to go down this whole line until I'm almost at that end. I'm going to take my other piece of 7 inches of elastic, and I'm going to line it up here so it is sticking out with a little tail sticking out right there. Go through that, go a little back, turn it, go a little back to lock that elastic in, and then go forward. Okay, then I'm going to take this little end as well. Make sure it's flat on the inside so it's not twisted, and have just a little tail of it sticking out on the edge. Like so. Okay. Turn it. Now, you notice I started in the middle right here. I need to go about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches from where I first started, so that I have a little pocket to turn the whole mask right side out. So here we go. I'm going to go backwards first, lock in that piece of elastic, and then go to about 2 inches apart, or 1.5 inches apart. And then I'm going to go backwards to lock in that stitch. I'm going to take it out. Cut off the ends there. So now I have that little pocket right here. I'm going to open that up and push the whole mask through till it's right side out. I do want to make sure that that is out as much as possible. This is out as much as possible, that it's locked in there. So now I'm going to put the mask down on any corner. You want to do one of the long sides first. So I'm going to put that down. I'm going to lock in this mask shape. Now, before I get too close to the edge, I have to fold it up so that it's gathered at the edge. I like to do 3 folds. On a kid's mask, they're going to be about 1 centimeter. Each fold is going to be about 1 centimeter. So I'm going to fold it like this. That's a little bit more than 1 centimeter. Maybe fold it like this. And this is one time that I do use pins to keep it together. Some people roll right over the pins when they are doing this. I don't, because I've broken some needles doing that. So I always take the pin out right before my needle is going to roll over it. That's a little less than 1 centimeter. That's fine. You want to make sure that each side, this has a little bit so that I can sew it by itself, and this over here has a little bit so that I can sew it by itself. It's not folded in on itself. So I'm going to pin that down. Okay. I'm going to put the needle in the fabric, lift this up, put the fold underneath here so I can have a nice smooth stitch. Okay. I'm going to stop about 1 centimeter before the end. lift this up, turn, put it back down. Now it's on that fold, so I can take this pin out. I cannot take the other pins out. I'm going to take this pin out. I'm going to take this pin out. And I'm just going to forward that one. Okay, so now I'm on this edge. So I'm going to go ahead like that. I'm doing it right on the edge because I like how it looks when it's right on the edge. Sometimes my stitches are not too straight. It doesn't matter. Nobody's gonna look at your stitches and be like, oh, they're not straight. Okay, so now I'm at the part where I have to fold this and pin it. You want it to fold the same way, the same direction that it did on the other side. Pin. Okay, now that that's all pinned, I can continue to the end. I'm going to do one more stitch and then turn. Now I'm back to where I began. I'm actually going to go over the whole mask one more time so that it is strong and secure. I'm going to try to go over my other stitch. It's not perfect, it's not perfect. It doesn't really matter. I like to take an extra piece of fabric, about this size, and I like to put it in the back of the mask, the inside of the mask, the part that's going to be touching your nose bridge. I like to put it right about here in the middle of where the mask is, so that if I want to fit the mask to somebody's face, I can do that by putting in, I'll show you, it's going to be a little pocket. Okay, I went over the whole mask twice. I am doing that back stitch at the end so that it doesn't come undone, so that it's nice and fixed. I'm going to cut the ends right there. Now I have this little pocket thing. I am going to turn that on the inside like this, and I'm going to sew one more line. So that is sewn down on the inside. I am leaving about a centimeter. I know I say a centimeter a lot. I'm leaving about a centimeter for this pocket. So here we go. Okay, so now this mask is done. I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to cut this. Okay, I'm going to trim this a little bit. Now, what is this for? This is for any kind of little twisty tie you want to fit in there, like a twisty tie for a garbage bag, and you just scooch it in there, and then this will shape to your nose or shape to your child's nose, and it's a lot more secure. It's a lot more comfortable that way as well. I really appreciate you watching this video. If you liked it, you can subscribe. I'm an art teacher, so there's going to be there's already lots of art, simple elementary school art projects that you can do at home. And I'm going to be posting a lot more because part of our school year is going to be distance learning this year as well. So if you're interested in that, just give a like, subscribe, hit that bell, and you will get new videos when they come out. You can also look at my library of old videos because since March 15th, we've been distance learning. So I hope you enjoy those. Thank you so much for helping out your school and for making masks. I know I said I was going to add a little bit of school spirit, but this ended up being way too long. I'm going to do another video about the school spirit that you can add on to your mask if you want to. Thank you. Thank you for helping your school. I'll see you. Be safe.